It's called Hip Hop Her.
Hip Hop Her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Hip Hop Her. Yep.
Shoot. Yeah, that's good right there. Because I ain't gonna lie. Because you was in Obstacles, wasn't you?
I was. Yep. Obstacles. And then I was in Boogie. What is it called? Oh, man. Boogie. I can't even think of the name. It originally was called, shoot. I can't even think, to be honest with you. They can go to my IMDb and see all of them. It's a whole lot of them. I just can't think of all of them. Boogie Beach Bash, I think was the name of it. Boogie Beach Bash. And I think that's by Brian Hooks. He produced that one. Then most recently, it was What Are the Chances was another one that I was just in, which was one of my brother's other movies. And recently, yeah. And then last year I did a movie. It's coming out this year. I can't remember the name. And then this June I have another movie that I'm casted in. So I don't really, go out my way pursuing movies. It just sometimes if it comes to me, people like come and get me, then I'll jump in. But movies take a little bit of attention, and I got a lot of stuff going on. So if it's not a campaign that I got, then it ends up being a project that I produced or put together or trying to promote. So but when they call me and it's the right time, I enjoy jumping on.
Okay. Now, which one is more fun for you, acting or making records?
You know what? So I enjoy them both equally. I enjoy them both equally. I don't act like I should and like I could and probably need to be. So I don't get to enjoy that as much, but I'm going to start because, but I like music pretty much equally. It just depends on how I feel. You know what I mean? So I guess, the high, it's nothing like the high of the stage, that high when your crowd, they know your music, they like you, they still, especially a woman like me that's been around all these years and, they're this ageism, they have a whole ageism element with hip hop for women. So older women. So they don't necessarily, when they do, they just pull the same ones out that pretty much that is always, I guess they can reach, or I don't know why it's always the same ones, but I'm figuring that piece out. But the bottom line is they don't necessarily appreciate a lot of what the older women brought. They went through a stage. Now they're appreciating it a lot more. But there was a stage when they really dropped us. No, there was no support. There was no appreciation. And, and they kind of buried our brands with these new brands. And now that all the new brands sound the same and doing the same, same thing. And I think that there's a crowd for that. And there's still the crowd that's for us, that's authentic and that's looking for more than just sex, money, alcohol, drugs, violence, and stripping. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you
enjoy it. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said that little last part because my next question is how do you feel about the current state of hip hop?
I have mixed feelings about it. I think it's great. The fact that, so the curse, I think it's a self-destructive, very self-destructive. There needs to be, Big Mama needs to step in, which, is this conversation now I've turned into Big Mama. Hip hop's Big Mama, the Big Mama hip hop. Okay. I'm going to have that conversation since you asked the question. So at this point, she's no longer Suga-T. She is now the Big Mama that is totally connected and understand the hip hop element. So the problem is that the history is what I understand as well as the present. And the problem is that if we don't get a handle on having some loyalty to the different groups that create the culture and the healthy part of the culture, then it's just going to be self-destructive behavior because it helps basically counsel people when others don't necessarily engage, and you have to push those who are the creators of the culture that keep it healthy. You basically push them into doing other things, because if you don't support them, then You know, they have to do something else to survive at the end of the day. And so, and if they leave you to the wolves, then, you know, you'll be left with just what you're supporting, and that's foolishness.